So if you haven't heard yet, Flipper Zero has just released the new firmware update. It's 1.0. This is their first major release of this firmware, and if you'll see here, it's been in development for 3 years and is now stable. So I'm just going to run through kind of like the email they sent out, and then I'll show you guys how to update your Flipper Zero to the latest firmware. So reading through, there's several new updates, and it's really neat what they're doing. They've installed more third-party applications now. The NFC is 3 times faster. Battery life in standby mode is up to a month now, so they've increased that. Also offers JavaScript support. Bluetooth is 2 times faster. They've added more protocols for RFID and infrared, and then they also have sub-gigahertz 89 radio protocol supported now. And I'd read, I think it's in this list, that you can now hear walkie-talkies. You can pick up that frequency and hear it through your Flipper Zero, as long as the person's kind of close and speaking clearly and kind of at a louder tone. So let's jump right in. So third-party apps, they've introduced dynamic app loading support. So now you can install hundreds of community-developed apps from apps catalog, and a number of apps will continue to grow. And they're using a new NFC Subsystem, which they've completely redone from scratch, resulting in a significant increase in card reading speed. The new NFC card type support and a new plug-in system for user card parsers, which is like when you're scanning a card, that it'll parse it faster to pull the code for you. You can now develop apps for Flipper Zero using JavaScript. And here's what I'm saying about the battery life: reaches 1 month in standby mode, and Bluetooth being faster by up to 2 times. You can do this firmware update either through Bluetooth, or you can also do it on your PC. I'm going to be doing it on PC just so I can record for you guys to see it. So initially all features in the Flipper Zero were implemented as part of the firmware, and every new feature fix required a full firmware update, which was a pain on both ends. So they can decide to compile and make a new release, and users then had to install it. One more problem was the system flash memory limit, which we had reached a long time ago. At some point, it could no longer add new features to our Flipper Zero firmware. So now they have the dynamic app loading subsystem. And let's see. Flipper Zero is now able to run applications right from FAP files, which is the Flipper application package. You can run the file straight from the micro SD card. And the new firmware component named App Loader handles loading and launching FAPs. Says this way they could finally add new features and store them outside the firmware, saving space on system flash memory. They have like a little demonstration showing how hard it was before and how easy it is for it to carry now with this dynamic app loading. Developers, let's see. So they created the apps catalog where apps is made by the community and all available in one place instead of trying to scour all over the internet to find the apps that you want to use. And so shows you how to install apps on the Flipper Zero. I will show you that in just a second with the Flipper Zero app that's on the PC. You can also do this from your phone. You can shop through the App Store and send them straight to your Flipper Zero using Bluetooth. Let's see, convenience apps and the apps catalog are grouped into categories based on their features: sub-gigahertz, NFC, RFID, games, media, tools, and others. And here's about the JavaScript. It says it allows you to run apps written in JavaScript, one of the most common programming languages. Makes development much easier compared to C, C++, as you don't need to set up a development environment on a computer and learn the Flipper Zero firmware. So kind of gives an example. You write your code, copy the JS file to your Flipper Zero, and then run the JavaScript file from the apps menu. Just kind of gives you kind of a step-by-step here. And guys, feel free, if you're watching this video, to pause anytime, and you can read this all on your own too. I received this because I'm part of like the newsletter sign up from when I bought my Flipper Zero. So it says JavaScript is based on MJS scripting engine, originally designed for microcontrollers. MJS utilizes system resources efficiently and operates relatively quickly. Requires less than 50K of flash space and 2K of RAM. So here's on to the new NFC subsystem. So NFC is near field communication. It's one of the largest subsystems in Flipper Zero firmware and hardware. Previously, to work with this, they use what's called the RFAL library, which is by STM or ST Microelectronics, which is the manufacturer of the NFC chip that's inside the Flipper Zero. Said, however, the library was poorly optimized for RTOS and consumed a lot of memory and slowed down their NFC subsystem. So to remedy this, they've completely redesigned their NFC subsystem from scratch, improved its speed, and makes it easier to support new NFC card protocols. I'm just going to kind of hit the highlights here. I won't read through everything, but it's free RTS OS friendly, which the polling to get events from NFC Subsystem was required with this RFAL with the old library. But with the new one, it simplified code and eliminated unnecessary delays in the NFC Subsystem. It says they've improved the architecture, said several protocols can be implemented with one huge file of thousands of lines, and a single protocol could be scattered throughout the library. Made it difficult to add and support NFC protocols. So to address this, they restructured the library and strictly divided protocols based on stack layers. And so you can see this on GitHub. They say their parsers are now dynamic. So initially, card data parsers were integrated in the NFC app and loaded into RAM along with it, which occasionally caused a lack of RAM. So now the parsers are Flipper app library that can be loaded one by one. So community members can add support for their card types by creating parsers by implementing a simple interface. And so they've added support for iCode, SLIX, and FELICA, and Lite-S cards. With this, with the change stuff they've made, so they were able to increase the speed of the dictionary key match function to 2.7 times faster. And now with the NFC dumps, you're able to edit them inside the app instead of having to pull them off and edit them in like a text editor and then putting them back to your Flipper Zero. So now dumps from MyFire Classic cards can be viewed and edited in the Flipper mobile app, and you can edit data of sectors, keys, and access bits. Some general system improvements: a new low power mode that I was talking about, increased the battery life from 1 week to 1 month in standby, which is a huge improvement, especially for the battery life if you're going to be using it or anything at all. That's leaps and bounds jump there. It says a faster Bluetooth connection with Android devices. So they're exploring ways to enhance the Bluetooth connection speed for iOS devices, but currently it's just faster for Android. So iPhone users, sorry. Firmware update package uploads 40% faster. So previously they were unable to properly compress update packages, but now the Flipper Zero updater supports the heat shrink compression algorithm. Now the firmware update package is transferred to Flipper Zero in a compressed form, speeding up the update's longest stage by 40%. And here's the sub-gigahertz improvements, and this is what I was talking about, the listen to the walkie-talkies. This is new. So 8.9 radio protocols are supported by the sub-gigahertz app and can be decoded by Flipper Zero. External sub-gigahertz hardware module support. You now have the option to connect an external module with CC1101 chip to use a more sensitive external antenna instead of the built-in one. In the Flipper Zero, in the Flipper sub-gigahertz app, you can switch between the built-in and external radio modules. And here's some: listen to analog walkie-talkie. So you can use the Flipper Zero to listen to voice communications through analog walkie-talkies. They're saying sound quality isn't perfect, but if the person's speaking loud enough in the walkie-talkie, you can hear the voice through the Flipper Zero piezo speaker. They also have a new bin raw file format. This allows you to store more signals and share them faster. Bin raw is a format for recording repetitive signals, and it's more compact than raw format. Bin raw contains only useful signal data without noise. So they've also made improvements to their infrared, so to their universal remotes. So they've added new universal IR remotes to control TVs, ACs, audio systems, and projectors, and made simple, intuitive UIs for them, which is user interface. Then there's external infrared hardware module support. Flipper infrared app now supports connecting an external infrared module with more powerful LEDs to increase the range of the infrared transmitter. Here's kind of a thing, just how to update. It says access all the new features, update firmware on your Flipper Zero. You can do so via Bluetooth using Flipper mobile app or via USB using the Q Flipper app, which is what I'm going to be doing here on the PC. All right, so we have that. Let me get Flipper Zero pulled up here. Okay, so you can see here, let me back out. Back. All right, so we're inside my Flipper Zero. I have it plugged into my PC so you guys can see everything. As soon as you log in, you're going to see this big green button that says update. You're just going to click on that. And that tells you new firmware release. What we're at is 1.0.1 will be installed. I'll click update. I'll let that run real quick. Alright guys, with the help of a little video magic editing, we're back here and the Flipper Zero's updated. It took about 3 minutes or so to do the update, so not too terribly long. So once it's updated, you'll get this screen here that says success. You have the continue button, just click continue. Okay, now that you have your Flipper Zero updated, you can either add apps through your phone, through your app there, through Bluetooth, or you can go here to lab.flipper.net. See here? If your Flipper is connected to your computer, you're just going to click on My Flipper. It will pull it up here, which is this one is mine. I'm going to click on Apps. And here's all the apps that you can install. Here's the categories that you have to choose from. So let's do games, just see what all they have. So you can tell they've uploaded several games that you can add to your Flipper Zero now. They even have the T-Rex runner that was big on Google Chrome on the browser. Five Nights at Flipper, that's pretty funny. So, Heap Defense, Chess, Hangman, Flight Assault. So, kind of like pick your poison, guys, whatever you like to play. But here we have sub-gigahertz stuff they've added here. Weather Station, Spectrum Analyzer, this would be pretty handy. Genie Garage Door, this would be good to, if you've seen my other video about opening garage doors, this would be good to record that as well. Another way to get into the Genie Garage Door openers. Sub-gigs, RFID. So they have RFID fuzzer, which would be good to fuzz radio frequencies to find what frequency stuff is running on. There was one I seen earlier that I was wanting to show you guys that seemed really interesting to me. Is it NFC? No, both maybe. ROT 13 is pretty good if you're wanting to create ciphertext with that. That's a way to transform text, like rolling each layer like 13 spaces. Yes, this RFID detector. This will identify the reader type, whether it's NFC or RFID for you. So if you're trying to copy something like proximity cards, access cards, gate keys, whatever it may be, this will pick up and be able to tell you if it's near field communication card or if RFID is required for that. So I thought that was pretty neat. But you guys go to this lab.flipper.net, check it out for yourself. Comment down below any of these that you've tried or that you're going to try that you really like. I mean, give me some ideas, maybe something you'd want to see a video on that we can implement and try. But whichever one you pick, like even this one's pretty neat, key copier. Like if you wanted to copy a key, it draws out the number of stuff you need. And I think this KW is probably for like a quick set key. Find My Flipper. I mean, there's so much stuff here just to kind of go through and explore, guys. Just do this on your own time. Let me know what you think down below, and thanks for watching.